Right now, Kamala Harris planning a visit to Milwaukee at the same time as the Democratic National Convention in Chicago, when she's scheduled to be there as the GOP also gets ready for its own event in the Cream City. Also, the city of Madison announcing reported sightings of bed bugs on their buses, how the city is handling the issue. And later, a system in crisis. The News 3 Now Investigates team looks into the Lincoln Hills Youth Prison. Go behind the barbed wire to hear what life is like for the people who work there and what's being done to improve it. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Vice President Kamala Harris is set to hold an event in Milwaukee on Tuesday. The Harris campaign is confirming that stop with us. Meanwhile, the Democratic National Convention will be on its second day in Chicago. Our Maddie Heimsch has more on the timing of the event and what the Harris campaign is hoping to accomplish. Maddie?
Yeah, Eric, this will be Harris's 7th visit to Wisconsin this year and her 3rd since entering the presidential race. And not only will she be in Milwaukee, but the rally will be held at the Pfizer Forum, where the Republican National Convention took place last month. Now the Democrats are making a point to head there. But why during the DNC? I sat down with Republican strategist Brandon Schultz, who says the decision is, quote, out of the box. He says it's in an attempt to keep all eyes on the Democrats in one of the most crucial areas of the country.
What do you get? You get a double hit. You get the party faithful in Chicago, however many tens of thousand at the convention, and you get another whatever you could have 8,000-10,000 or whatever in Milwaukee. So you really get you're kind of bookending the news, as they kind of say in the business. You're capturing everything. It's going to be really hard for the Trump campaign to kind of insert itself into these stories.
During Harris's most recent Wisconsin visit, which was in Eau Claire last week, J.D. Vance followed suit, holding his own rally just blocks away. Schultz says both candidates need to win Wisconsin to make it to the White House, so visits to the swing state won't be slowing down anytime soon. In fact, Vance will be in Milwaukee tomorrow, delivering remarks at the Milwaukee Police Association, his 3rd time in the state since accepting the Republican vice presidential nomination.
All right, Maddie, thank you. Next week, News 3 Now will be in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention. I'll be joined by Susan Simon along with Brady Mallory, and Charlotte DeLeste returns for special coverage along with our reporters, and we'll have team coverage of the event August 19th through the 22nd. And more details on that visit from J.D. Vance. He's returning to Milwaukee, as Maddie said, for a speaking engagement. Senator Vance expected to speak at about 11 a.m. Again, that'll be at the Milwaukee Police Association building. The doors open at 8. Time once again for a check of the first warn forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington. Alex?
Eric, right out here on the patio, we've got that mist still coming down. That clouds have not cleared. The mist and shower activity has prolonged across much of southern Wisconsin, and that was that ingredient that we've been mentioning these past couple days in the First Warn Weather Team to let you know if we just don't get that heating, that cuts down on the severe weather threat. It's only 74 right now in Madison, dew point 70, so it's a muggy, it's a humid, cool temperature out there. There's plenty of moisture out there. We just don't have the higher temperatures that we were expecting in the upper 70s to the lower 80s. Going to Platteville on our Queen Bee Radio Skycam, the clouds are just now starting to clear out. You really need those clouds to clear out around noon as a guide for severe weather development, and that just didn't happen over southern Wisconsin. The showers lagged across the area. The clouds were about, and they're still here. The heating struggle that lowers the severe weather threat tonight. It's not gone entirely, but widespread severe weather right now is not looking likely across southern Wisconsin. As our atmospheric energy, you really want those bright white colors or the brighter yellows. Those are down into Iowa and over portions of northwestern Illinois. A little bit of energy moving into southern Wisconsin, but the bulk of that energy has been to the south and to the west in Iowa and over portions of central Illinois. They do have a severe thunderstorm watch well to the southwest of the area, and one lone severe thunderstorm warning right along I-80. Future track trying to show a couple of thunderstorms popping up this evening, but take note, they're not widespread, and as they move into southern Wisconsin, they do some fizzling, maybe another thunderstorm or two as we head towards midnight. So the takeaway message right now is not looking at widespread severe weather at this point in time across southern Wisconsin. Isolated severe weather not out of the question, but coming up in Maine weather, we do have more storm chances we need to talk about for Friday.
Alex, thank you. Now to continuing coverage of a gas leak in Madison. The scene now clear after people were told to evacuate from Sycamore Avenue. That leak involved a 1,000-gallon propane tank with a broken valve. Traffic was also diverted away from the scene. People were asked to stay at least a half-mile away from that location. Traffic in the area has since reopened, except for on the 4400 block of Sycamore Avenue. Reports of bed bugs on a Madison Metro bus. Officials say there were several sightings this summer. This is happening after the city announced it was treating for bed bugs back in October of 2023. Tanisha Shaw has the latest.
The city of Madison is responding to bed bugs on the Metro. Since July 10th, there has been at least 7 reported sightings between the Metro's buses and their facilities.
So it makes me kind of nervous.
The city updated an online announcement Thursday evening. One of the reported sightings were on the bus, the rest at Metro's facility.
I would say I was very surprised. I've heard of that happening before, but it's just one of those things that you never think is going to happen when you're like around, I guess. Like you think it happens somewhere else.
I asked Metro's chief development officer for an interview, but he declined. On the website, it states that everything the mechanic made contact with is being inspected.
I don't know if they handled it as good as they could have because I don't think a lot of people know about it.
The city says they haven't found any physical bugs, but a K9 did sniff a bed bug at Metro's facility Wednesday. Owners of K9 Detection, a company that detects bed bugs, told me that the pest can be found pretty much anywhere.
People that are there, they leave, new people come, they leave, new people, like a restaurant, a hotel, airline seats, unfortunately on the buses. Anywhere people are coming and going, you always run the risk. If you never want to have bed bugs, don't go anywhere.
That was Tanisha Shaw reporting. The city said it has sent pest control to handle impacted areas, including the dispatch area, as well as the buses. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 6, the White House announcing lower prices on several prescription drugs for those on Medicare. Plus, standing up to artificial intelligence. The upcoming presentation looking to ease people's fears of the growing technology. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6, brought to you by Gruber Law Offices.
Driving comes with risk. You may be a safe driver, but there's the risk that others are not. What's not a risk? Calling Gruber Law Offices. The call is free, and there's never a fee until we win. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Fjords has been crafting beautifully designed functional furniture since 1941. Every aspect of Fjord's furniture has been carefully engineered to create a higher level of relaxation. Visit the Century House today and view our extensive lineup. Experience the unmatched relaxation you can only achieve in Fjord's furniture. Relaxation made beautiful. Visit the Century House at 3420 University Avenue in Madison or online at centuryhouseinc.com.
Nobody wants to replace the roof, but these days many roofs are only lasting 10 to 15 years, costing you tens of thousands of dollars. RoofMax makes your roof like new by strengthening and rejuvenating it. RoofMax treatments, started early enough, can extend the life of your roof by 15 years or more. And even if you think your roof is at the end of its life, 90% of the time, RoofMax can extend the life of your roof by 5 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. So give us a call and we'll give you a free assessment to see if your roof qualifies.
Kamala Harris has taken on gang members to get justice for victims, taken on big banks to pay back people they ripped off, taken on drug companies to cap insulin at $35. Now she's running to take on greedy corporations who jack up prices to lower everyday costs for working families. They're spending millions on ads attacking her because she'd be a president who fights for you. FF PAC's responsible for the content of this ad.
News 3 Now brings you team coverage from the Democratic National Convention in Chicago. We'll talk to delegates about the issues that matter right here in Wisconsin. Campaign 2024 DNC coverage live from Chicago, starting Monday on News 3 Now.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Welcome back. Talk of artificial intelligence is everywhere these days, bringing up all sorts of emotions in people. And that's why Summerland Education will be hosting a presentation called Stand Up to AI. The event is part of Ford Fest next week. It's meant to push back on the notion that AI is taking over and puts humans at the forefront of decision making.
When technology alone is part of the focus, then businesses don't actually get the entire return that they want. But when they use technology and human design together, they actually get the benefits that they're looking for, and they get those business returns.
The event will take place at the Sylvie from noon to 5:30. It'll be Wednesday, August 21st. For the first time in history, Medicare has negotiated new lower prices on 10 of the most commonly used drugs by Medicare recipients. That's according to the White House. Some of them include Eliquis, Jardiance, Xarelto, and Entresto. These drugs are taken by 9 million people in the Medicare program. The new prices are between 40 and 80% below the list prices for the drugs today.
The new lower prices that Medicare announced today will lower spending in the Medicare program by $6 billion in a single year. That's savings to taxpayers and savings to the Medicare program that really demonstrate that we can lower prices and get a better deal for the American people.
Next year, the White House hopes to lower prices on 15 more drugs and then 20 drugs the following year. Many people were shocked when a corrections officer was killed at Lincoln Hills Youth Prison, but those who have worked there were not. When we come back, News 3 Now investigates and he looks into the conditions of the prison and gets firsthand accounts of what it's like working there. Plus, the threat of severe weather going down, but we still might see some rain. Alex with the complete forecast after a short break.
Sanctuary cities protect illegal immigrant criminals from being deported, like an illegal immigrant arrested for battery in Madison. Instead of being deported, he was released and went on to assault several more women, including a 13-year-old girl. Senator Tammy Baldwin voted 9 times to support federal funding for sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegals back onto our streets. And Baldwin voted for amnesty for 11 million illegals, including criminals. Tell Senator Baldwin, stop protecting illegal immigrants and start protecting Wisconsin.
It's the back-to-school sale at Hy-Vee this Friday through Sunday. Uncrustables, just $2.48. Lunchables or P3, just 99 cents. Basket and bushel mandarins, just $2.99 for a 3-pound bag. Hy-Vee split-top bread, just $1.28. Kraft singles, just $1.99. Hy-Vee cereal, just 99 cents. Save big during the back-to-school sale, in-store and online this Friday through Sunday at Hy-Vee.
This famous wood fence from the show Home Improvement had to have boards replaced 13 times in only 9 years. Our fences outlast wood 3 to 1 and are all backed by our extensive lifetime warranty. This month, save $1,000 on your project. Visit the website or call the number for your new fence today.
It's Empire Today's half price sale. Get half price on select styles of fully installed carpet or flooring, plus pay no interest for 12 months. Schedule now.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. At USA Insulation, we fix hot homes. Over 7 out of 10 homes are poorly insulated. Is yours? Here are some of the signs. Is your house too cold in the winter? Is it too hot in the summer? Does your furnace and AC run almost non-stop? Do you have different temperatures in different rooms? Are your energy bills too high? You don't need a new home. You need better insulation. And right now, when we foam your walls, we'll insulate your attic for free.
USA Insulation.
We know the fentanyl coming from Mexico and China is a threat here in Wisconsin.
It's why Tammy Baldwin is working to stop it.
And Tammy passed the bipartisan Fend Off Fentanyl Act.
It takes on the Mexican cartels and the fentanyl coming from China.
And Tammy Baldwin voted 32 times to strengthen our border.
32 times to increase border patrols.
And technology to keep illegal drugs out. Because Senator Baldwin knows
keeping us safe is her first priority.
Tell Tammy Baldwin to keep securing our borders.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
Nobody's hearing what's going on and what these staff are going through.
Inmates and their families say Wisconsin's only youth prison is failing them. Years of controversy surrounding Lincoln Hills Copper Lake schools came to a head in June. A corrections officer died, attacked by 2 inmates at the facility. Tonight, Braden Ross and Will Keneally are digging into the system in crisis, gathering firsthand accounts of life inside and getting answers from officials on what's being done to improve it. Braden joins us now with the first half of this 2-part investigation. Braden?
Yeah, we're bringing you these stories in the midst of growing tensions between Republicans and Democrats at the Capitol building over Lincoln Hills Copper Lake schools. Will touch on that later tonight. But first, I wanted to give you a glimpse behind the barbed wire and hear what it's really like for staff on the inside. Take a look.
Remember that?
If you ask Lisa and Mark Brenner how they fell in love, they'll tell you the truth.
We tell everybody we met in prison.
Okay, it's not quite what you're thinking.
When you work together, you have 8 hours to sit and share, you know.
We used to sit there and
talk and
laugh and share our whole life stories.
Back in the early 2000s, they were both guards at Lincoln Hills Copper Lake Schools, the Department of Corrections' largest youth prison in the state.
It's a bonding thing. You trust this person with your life when you turn your back. You know what I mean? They got your 6.
Lisa worked at Lincoln Hills for nearly a decade before Mark showed up in 2003. Before moving north, he spent 18 years working at Mendota Mental Health Institute, a secure psychiatric hospital for adults in Madison.
Everything was structured. We had paperwork, incident reports.
But Mark says Lincoln Hills was a different story.
I looked at her and I go, what is going on in this institution?
Both Brenners have witnessed and experienced violence at the hands of Lincoln Hills inmates many times.
I've had surgeries, gotten in between fights.
Toilet bowl cocktails thrown in my face, which is a mixture of poop and pee.
We had a girl that beat her head up against the wall constantly, and me having to put my hand back there and she beats it and blood's all over the place. And you had to stop her, but you couldn't hurt her.
They say trying to stop those outbursts saved lives, but they often feared being disciplined for the split-second decisions they had to make.
That fraction of a second of hesitation might cost that kid his life.
In the early 2010s, Lincoln Hills Copper Lake faced increasing scrutiny from lawmakers, advocacy groups, and inmates' families. The Brenners say that pressure meant the rules made by DOC leadership in Madison changed all the time.
Don't lock them up. Do lock them up. Don't handcuff them. Do. You know, it was confusing for us. Your hands are just tied.
Lisa left Lincoln Hills in 2013. Mark followed 1 year later.
The choices, the confusion, the psychological effects before and after. I still have dreams. I still have nightmares.
Now, 10 years later, a lot of these problems still haven't been solved. According to the Department of Corrections, there have been 150 youth assaults on staff at Lincoln Hills Copper Lake in 2024 alone. One of those incidents left 49-year-old CO Corey Prue dead.
What was your initial reaction?
Tragedy. Tragedy. Horrible.
Not surprised.
So, Braden, after all of that, what do they think needs to change here?
Yeah, well, I asked them that question. Let's take a look at what they said.
What do you think needs to change?
Every day you go in there, every individual, your life's at risk. And you have to know that as a staff worker, the job's not a joke. They just need to have tools and structure and guidance.
As we mentioned, Braden worked with political reporter Will Keneally on this story, and Will joins us now breaking down what structure and guidance could look like moving forward.
Yeah, well, the same debate is playing out in the State House right now.
Yeah, that's right. So a lot of this is unfolding within the last 24 hours here. The policy for how corrections officers use things like pepper spray at the prison is governed by a federal consent decree. Now, Republican lawmakers have been urging the state's Democratic governor to ask a federal judge to revise that decree. But yesterday, the Evers administration said no, they want to keep the current policy in place. Now, that's to prevent the prison from going back to what they describe as inhumane conditions. Now, as part of our special report, we brought questions to the Corrections Secretary about how they plan to move forward. Did you, in the administration, consider asking the judge to amend the consent decree at all?
We need to have more discussion on that. I think there were a lot of things that I heard today that were outside of the consent decree and things that we have an opportunity to look at and do some self-reflection and self-improvement maybe, regardless of whether what the consent decree says. So.
Now we'll have more on the solutions lawmakers are considering going forward, including how close we might be to seeing Lincoln Hills closed. Now we'll have more on that coming up tonight at 10.
Oh, we look forward to that. Will, Braden, thank you for your reporting here. We appreciate that. Now we do have to go to the forecast now. More showers later today. Alex rejoins us once again. Your complete forecast.
Eric, I'll add to that. Showers lingered all day today across much of southern Wisconsin. You can still see the lingering effects here on our Upland Hills Health-sponsored Capital Skycam. A little bit fuzzy there. That's because there's mist, there's fog with temperature at 73 degrees, the dew point 71. They're close together, so that's why we have this misty, foggy conditions across southern Wisconsin. And again, as we've been mentioning the past couple of days, you need to clear out but you need to clear out late morning, early afternoon for more widespread severe thunderstorm activity. Still can't rule out a couple of thunderstorms yet tonight and maybe a strong storm or two, but it's now 6 o'clock at night and the skies are just starting to clear near the Mississippi River, and that just doesn't allow enough of that heat to build up. It's been struggling all day today, so that lowers the severe weather threat for tonight. It's not completely gone, but the threat is lower. Better energy, that's where we have these bright yellows over the state of Iowa going down into Illinois, where they did clear out today. Here in southern Wisconsin, we're just starting to see that energy build up again. A couple of thunderstorms popping up along 80, well south and west of the area where they have a severe thunderstorm watch for southern Iowa until 11 o'clock. The best threats for severe weather are likely going to stay south and west of Wisconsin, where they have had the opportunity to warm up. Future track also showing that. Trying to bring some thunderstorms in as they get into southern Wisconsin. They have a tendency to fizzle out. One or two of these storms, again, could percolate up and pop up and get briefly strong, but not seeing widespread severe weather painted by our future track model. Still the threat there for an isolated severe storm or two across southern Wisconsin, with that best threat, again, to the south areas near the Wisconsin-Illinois border. Then on the back side of the weather system, we call this a cold core low. You can get thunderstorms to pop up, usually with the heat of the day. That's why we have a marginal risk of severe weather for, let's say, the Dells, Lone Rock, Platteville, and points off towards the east for Friday afternoon. Let's see how that pans out. As we start off Friday morning, upper 60s to right around 70. We get up to about 80 degrees at noon. Watch the thunderstorms break out here from the Dells over to Watertown, east of Madison. They quickly race off towards the east, maybe catching Madison and Janesville on the southern flank of this line, but it is a bowing line. And whenever we have that bowing feature, that is usually a sign that there could be some strong winds with that line of thunderstorms if it pops up in the afternoon. That's the main threat tonight. If we get any severe weather tonight, gusty winds be the main threat. The other threats, again, decreasing across the area. Could see an isolated severe storm or two on Friday. We'll keep an eye out. If that does look like it's going to be a bit more widespread, we may hoist alert days there for the potential for more severe weather on Friday. But right now, looking isolated at this point in time, and a rather beautiful weekend ahead.
And coming up in sports, Wisconsin hockey at Wrigley Field. Who the Badger men and women will drop the puck against. That's next on News 3 Now.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Kamala Harris has spent decades fighting violent crime. As a border state prosecutor, she took on drug cartels and jailed gang members for smuggling weapons and drugs across the border. As vice president, she backed the toughest border control bill in decades. And as president, she will hire thousands more border agents and crack down on fentanyl and human trafficking. Fixing the border is tough. So is Kamala Harris.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
This is a hallway. Doesn't evoke much feeling. But to those facing cancer or a complex condition, it feels like relief. Because all the doctors, treatments, and technology you've been fighting to find, they're all right here, under one roof, connected by hallways instead of highways. East Park Medical Center, coming soon. UW Health, remarkable.
Right now, we're running our 60-60-60 sale. So when you purchase your new concrete coating, you get a $60 Visa gift card plus either 60% off installation or 60-month no-interest financing. This is one of our best deals of the year, so visit our website or call the number for your new floor today.
Get an 11% rebate on your next painting project at Menards. DuraClean Exterior Paint is a paint and primer in one that's formulated to resist dirt, weather, and fading. Starting at $34.48 per gallon after rebate. Maximize your curb appeal with Max Bond Plus Exterior Paint. It provides max adhesion, height, and performance. With over 800 one-coat colors, it's designed to work for you. A gallon starts at $47.87 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Certain this is gonna work?
Nothing to it.
For Imprint certain?
Certainty matters. 4imprint is your home for promo gear to wow clients and inspire your team. Check out 4imprint.com.
4imprint, for certain.
I'm Tammy Baldwin. I approve this message.
I'm the proud son of a single mom.
My mom worked nights to provide for us.
My mom worked 80 hours a week.
But Eric Hovde thinks if you have a single mom, you're going to be poor or a drug addict?
That is a direct path to a life of poverty. It leads to higher drug rates.
That just shows Eric Hovde is ignorant.
Come on, I'm successful today because of my mom.
I learned my work ethic from my mom, my single mom.
What is wrong with this guy?
Wisconsin men's and women's hockey programs will be part of history on January 4th when they both play outdoor hockey games on Wrigley Field in the Frozen Confines Big Ten Hockey Series. The women will drop the puck against Ohio State in a national championship rematch, while the men will face off against Michigan State. It will be the second outdoor hockey game for the Badger women, the fourth for the men. And get this, neither program has lost an outdoor hockey game. The Packers are on their way to Denver for tomorrow's joint practice with the Broncos, and Matt LaFleur is only focused on getting his team ready for Sunday's preseason game. But with the regular season only 22 days away, the experts are thinking big picture and making their Super Bowl contender lists. And one of those experts, NFL Today analyst Bill Cowher, has his eye on the Packers to be one of the top teams in the league this season.
I don't know if they're a dark horse or not. I know they made the playoffs last year. They did not win their division. But you talk about a team at the end of the season found their identity. And I love going out and getting Josh Jacobs to fit into that offense. And Jordan Love was playing as good as any quarterback was the second half of that season. And oh yeah, they're the youngest team in the National Football League. So look out for the Green Bay Packers.
Well, another day, another Badger on a preseason watch list. Today it was Kamoy Latu. The senior safety was named to the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year award watch list. Last season, Latu tallied 19 tackles and 3 pass breakups. Brewers looking to split their series against the Dodgers. Crew down a run in the 8th. Bases loaded for Willie Adames. And Captain Clutch rips one into left to tie this one up at 4. That starts a 3-run inning for the Brewers, and then Devin Williams gonna shut the door on the Dodgers. First, he gets Mookie Betts swinging, and then it's Shohei Ohtani's turn. Brewers get the win and a split, 6-4 the final. Now that was the good news. Bad news, Christian Yelich, season-ending back surgery tomorrow. We knew it was a possibility, but it's one of those things where you just kind of hold out hope that he can come back.
It was unfortunate because he was having a good year, really good year.
He was back. Yelly was back.
And he says he wants to get healthy for next year. We'll see what happens. Hopefully the playoff hopes are not damaged by that. They've been playing well without him. Final check of the forecast.
Showers today. They held our heating down. We were mentioning that could be a possibility today. Future track showing a couple of thunderstorms trying to move into southern Wisconsin. But again, a lot of the energy didn't build up today because we had the showers and storms. So future track trying to paint a few storms, but as they move into our environment that doesn't have as much energy, the likelihood of them being severe should be low. I'm not expecting widespread severe weather tonight.
All right, Alex, thank you very much. Thanks for joining us at 6. Folks, have a great evening. We'll be back here tonight for News 3 Now at 10.